Hello everybody and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something that has recently just come out, and it is discussing all of the F1 2023 liveries for this coming season. This is the first proper video that I've posted in a little while, as the last time I posted on this channel was about 2 months ago. And in case you've forgotten, I am Thomas Bebrook. All of the videos that I post on my channel are unedited, so I will be stuttering and juttering as we go along. So, as we all know, the F1 teams of Haas, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull and co have all released their liveries for this season, and I'm going to be going through and talking a little bit about each one, and then at the end I'll be ranking them, which one is my favourite livery out of all of them. If you would like to see the liveries for yourself, as I will not be getting a picture up on the screen, I will link to all of the F1 teams pages in the description box below. And just before we get into the video, guys, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, as it really means a lot to me, and we're trying to get the grind up to 50 subscribers by the summer of July. And so let's get into this YouTube video. So we will go within chronological time order in which the liveries came out, and we start with the Haas F1 car. The Haas F1 car, obviously they had to get rid of their big Russian sponsor last season because of what's going on in the war at the moment, and I hope that everybody in Ukraine is doing okay, as well as the people in Turkey and Syria, I'd just like to point out. But the Haas F1 car livery, as I'm getting on my phone, the Haas F1 car livery looks okay. I actually quite like it. I quite like the livery. If you can see on the screen here, the F1 Haas livery, they've gone with black with their livery now, because they have a new sponsor. And when this car came out, when they revealed the livery, I really liked the look of it. It was very sleek. I really liked the way that the channeling down the side of the car was done, and I really like the model of the front wing and the wheel caps as well. Like they've got little red sort of wheel hubs at the bottom, and I really like that. Another thing is, I also think Haas will be on the front foot this season, because of the way that they have developed, and they've also got Nico Hulkenberg back in the car now, so I think he'll bring a new step towards Haas's season this year. Next was Williams' car, and Williams have always been the backmarker teams. They've never been at the front foot. Obviously back in 2015, 2016 they were fighting for podiums all the time, but they've sort of slipped from there. But I think their livery for this season was quite good this year. Let me just get it up so I can show it to you guys. I genuinely think, and they've got more sponsors on their car this year, so it actually looks slicker than it did before. So there is the Williams livery for this season. It does look quite nice, and they've got Duracell as a sponsor. So if I zoom in, you can see that the engine cover looks like a Duracell battery, which I like. That's quite a nice little touch that they've done for that. And however, for my prediction for this season for Williams, I do think that they will still be on the back foot. Obviously, they've got Alexander Albon, who was there last season, and they've got the new youngster of what's his name? Logan Sargent driving for them. So I think that they will do quite good this season, but I still think they will be a back marker along with Aston Martin and potentially Haas, but we'll have to see. Next, we come to my favourite team, my supportive team, Oracle Red Bull Racing, who have also partnered up with Ford now, which is an exciting new development. However, obviously, all of you Red Bull fans will know out there that they haven't really changed their livery at all. They've just kept the same livery as before. And there was a funny Top Gear TikTok that somebody did, which was talking about the Mitsubishi Evo, and they just said they've replaced the word 8 and put on 9. So the car looks exactly the same as it did before, and to demonstrate that, I will bring up the livery now. But my prediction for Red Bull this season, there's the car as you can see. My prediction for this season, though, with the Red Bull car is that I do genuinely think that they will still be the top team, even though they had the cost cap. Deduction of the wind tunnel and stuff like that, the 10% deduction. I still think they'll be a top team because obviously Verstappen's off the back of 2 world championships now. They've got Perez, who's the defensive maestro, But the other teams like Mercedes and Ferrari I'll get onto later when I talk about the liveries. But the next and probably my favourite livery out of all of them so far is Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo obviously have a new team principal, but they also have a new sponsor as well. There is the car. And what I like about the car is that they've got more black on the car, and I think that's a really, really cool thing. On Arava's live stream, as you could see him on the corner of my screen, Arava said this Alfa Romeo livery is going to be a bit like Marmite, where some people will like it, some people will hate it. Me personally, I really, really like the car, and again, I like the channels on the side of the car and the way that the rear wing is and the halo and the front wing. It's just a really, really nice design, and if the aero trickery works as it's supposed to, I think this will be quite a quick car and maybe a contender for the midfield this season, as they've remained with Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou. So I think that will be a good livery, and they'll be certainly fighting for the midfield. Next we have AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri, I didn't really like the car very much. It wasn't my favourite. But people said that they shouldn't have kept the red on the livery, but that's what the car looks like. They've got red on the car because it's now sponsored by Orlen, who used to sponsor Alfa Romeo, but obviously they don't now. But I think if they had just kept it as they did before, but maybe redesigned the front nose or the rear wing, I think it would have made it quite a cool livery. But as last season, AlphaTauri no longer have Pierre Gasly, as he's gone on to another team, which I'll talk about in a second. But they have brought in Nick de Vries, who got his first points in a test drive for Williams at the Dutch Grand Prix, or was it Monza? I can't really remember. But he looked like he had a lot of potential, and to drive for AlphaTauri, who do have a quick car, as we know. Pierre Gasly won in an AlphaTauri back in 2020 at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, so they do have potential. But I do still think that they will be a midfield team throughout the thing. Next we come to Aston Martin. I don't really need to show the Aston Martin car, as it looks pretty much the same as it did last season. They just changed the shade of green on the car, and it's not my favourite car out of the liveries so far. It basically just looks the same as it did before. They've just gone with a bit more of a darker shade of green, which I don't really particularly like. But as I said, my predictions for the Aston Martin standings for this season will probably be at the back. Our next one is McLaren. I genuinely liked McLaren's livery. I thought it was very, very good, and what made it even more special for me is that one of the sidemen, Vicstar123, was presenting the car launch, which I thought was quite cool. This is the McLaren for this season. They've gone with the Google Chrome wheels again, and it genuinely looks really, really good. They've got Google Chrome on the livery. This is what it looks like from the back. It genuinely looks like a quick car. And before, I will talk about my predictions for McLaren, Mercedes and Ferrari later, because I have some bold predictions to make. So we'll move on to Ferrari's car now. Ferrari was was strong last season. They were very, very strong, but their strategy just didn't work, and that led them to just having horrible races, and they just weren't good enough. But that is the 2023 car for this season. It genuinely looks like a proper car. There it is, and I like the extra additions of black on that livery as well. Then we come on to Mercedes, who revealed their car 2 days ago. I was watching all the live streams as I said, and I don't like Mercedes as I'm a Red Bull fan, but even I have to admit that the Mercedes car looks mean. They've gone back to the classic black Mercedes. There you go, because they were the silver arrows last year, but now they've gone back to the black arrows, and I will say it does look quite good. And then the final car livery, before I talk about my overall predictions, is the Alpine car that was revealed yesterday. And this is the car. They're rocking the same thing. However, for the first 3 races of the season, they are going to be rocking an all-pink livery to go back to the Force India days back of 2020. So, those are all the liveries done. And now my overall prediction for the season is, I think it will be Williams, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and then the midfield teams will be Alpine and AlphaTauri. They will be the midfield. And then I think this season will be actually really, really exciting, because I think McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull will all be fighting for the championship this season. I think they will all have a quick car, because Mercedes last season, they were showing potential towards the very end of the season, but they didn't have enough races to show their potential, because they only really unlocked the potential of their car sort of Mexico, Brazil time. As we saw, they sort of managed to get over the porpoising issue, and obviously Red Bull, they won the championship last season, but obviously they have the 10% budget, the cost cap done, so obviously they'll be coming down the order, being a bit less competitive but still strong. Ferrari, they've got a new team principal and CEO now, so if they get their strategy worked, they'll be coming up as well, because they already had a quick car last season. And obviously McLaren have a lot of racing pedigree. They've got Mercedes engines, so I do think they will be fighting as well. So it's going to be a 4-way battle for the championship this season. So, and finally, before I end this video, my Constructors' Championship and Drivers' Championship predictions, I think, really sad for me to say, but I think Hamilton will get his 8th World Championship this season. So it'll go Hamilton, Verstappen, and then Perez probably. But I do think Red Bull will still take the Constructors' Championship with Mercedes just behind. I just think Hamilton, after tweeting that he is not going anywhere from Mercedes, he's still hungry to get that 8th world title and take over Michael Schumacher's record, as he's already equalled it already. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end the video off, guys. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and the next YouTube video I'll post is going to be 10 things to improve Forza Horizon 5 and upcoming Forza games, where I'll talk about things that need to be improved in the multiplayer lobbies and Horizon Solo, potential maps, what they could do, potential biomes, potential expansions, and I really, really hope that you can join me for that video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you again soon.